To go over our web page building assignment and a few tricks that we learned today. So first things first is you open up the assignment, our web page design assignment. So just as a few reminders before we even start on the technical part, this is not a writing assignment. This is an assignment where I'm asking you to use some design features and understand you're creating a web page for an audience. So your responsibility is to research a topic that interests you and then make a web page about it. So I'll open up the instructions here. And the reason why I'm opening up the instructions is because I gave you a link here for Adobe Express. A lot of you used this software last year. It was called Adobe Spark at the time. They changed it to Adobe Express. If you're not signed in already, you go to the top right corner where it says sign in, you click that. And both buttons will work, so you could either use a login with school account or continue with Google. So I'm going to continue with Google. It will probably ask you for permissions for your Ottawa Carleton District School Board account. You could click allow. Like there's nothing harmful with that. And I'm going to go into a new project at this point. So I'm going to go to the top left-hand side here where it's a big purple plus button. And I'm going to go down to web page. There is other options for infographic and banner and video. Those options won't work as well for this assignment. If you do want to try to use those options, go ahead, just ask me first and I'll probably say yes. All right, we click on web page. And then I'm going to create a web page about food. And then that's usually the title right there. And then the subtitle, the purpose of the subtitle is to explain what this title is going to be for, what this web page is going to be for. So in this case, I'm going to say great places to eat in Ottawa. So I'm stealing a topic from a student of mine this year. That they'll know who I'm talking about when you see it. So then down here at the plus button, this is where you choose the photo for the main background of your site. So I'm going to click on photo. There's lots of options here. You could choose one of your own photos from Google Drive. If you wanted to download a photo from the internet and then put it in your drive, you could upload it using this. Or you could use the upload button. Actually, depends if you're on a Chromebook or not, because this may not work on Chromebooks or certain Chromebooks. My favorite thing to do, though, is find free photos. Once I click on that, I have a search function. And I could click on food. And then I have so many options here. So I'm going to choose something that would work really well as a background. If I choose something that's too busy, it would get very distracting. But I kind of like this one because it has a lot of big open space here. Fantastic. Okay. Now, what's the next step? It kind of looks like there's nothing on this page, but there's not. If you scroll down, then that's where this plus button appears with all these great options here. One of the most simple options is the split layout. And this is where you put an image on one side and you put your text on the other side. So I'm going to choose another image. And my search results are still there. So I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to choose, I don't want salad this time. I'm going to choose some sort of protein or meat. That looks good. Awesome. I don't eat beef myself, but that works. And then on the other side, I click the plus button, and this is where I could add some text. A button would be a link, or if you find a neat video of one of the restaurants in Ottawa, pop that on there. Again, I'm using food and restaurants in Ottawa as an example, but literally you could probably choose almost any topic as long as it's school appropriate. This is where I would describe the photo. And hopefully I spelled describe properly. There you go. That probably helps. And then you can even use these plus buttons to add even more features. So you're not stuck with just one text box here. Then if I continue to scroll down, this is one that we discovered today, slideshow. This is a really interesting one. So this is where the background photo would stay static. So it will stay still, but then your text and your images will scroll on top. It's a really cool effect and it looks very professional. So we're going to click on slideshow. And they're going to ask you, hey, what do you want your background to be? So I love this one here because, again, has lots of big open space. I'll click on it. It takes a little bit to load, and that's okay. But then I click on save. And this is where I have some, I call these ghost boxes. So the gray box here, I could easily move them over from center to far right or back to far left if it stays. There you go. And then, of course, there's a plus button where I could add even more text. There you go. And of course, we could use the plus buttons to add even more stuff, like a photo. Let's add lots of photos. Actually, I don't like a photo there. I want a photo underneath or a button. And this button, which should be a link. It's taking a little bit to load here. I might even try that again. There we go. This is my link to the restaurant. As you can tell, it's the end of the day here, so my spelling's not the best. And then, of course, you would put the actual link here, but I don't have a link, so I'm just going to click. Oh, I'm going to have to put in something so it will save. Obviously, that won't work, but we're going to try that. There you go. So if I clicked on this, when I clicked on preview, it would actually open up. So what's really cool now is I have my title up top. I have a nice big image. I have my text box and an image that doesn't move. But then as I move down the glide box, my big background here really shows off. But then as I continue to scroll, that's where I start to see more here. Fantastic. Another thing that we did notice is if you click on the top right box up here, or text up here with themes, like this is where you actually get to change your type of font, your background. So I just changed all my fonts to be very different actually. Or if you really wanted to be creative and you wanted to make your own, this is a little bit more advanced, you would go to create a brand. And this is where I'm not going to show you all the work here, but this is where you would choose your text, you would choose your color, you would choose your background color, all that. So you'd start off with a logo, then you choose which color you like, which font you like, and then you keep on clicking next from there. But I'm not going to do that because that takes a little bit longer, and I'll let you explore that yourself. Then most importantly, you want to know how it looks. You click on the preview button up here, and this is actually how your web page is going to look for an actual viewer, which is very similar to the editor, but it just looks a little bit different. So my example.com link here would actually open now, but I'm not going to open it up because I don't want to go to example.com. There you go. So let me know if you have any questions. Oh, and then of course, most importantly, when you want to share this website. So I'm going to close this. When you want to share this website or when you want to hand it in, you click on the button up here for share, then go to publish and share a link. And then it's going to ask you, okay, what do you want to call it? What category is in? It doesn't really matter what category you choose on this one, but you could be fancy if you'd like. Then you're going to create the link. It takes a few seconds to actually create the link because you're actually putting this web page live on the internet so your friends could take a look at it. And then all you have to do is just copy this into Google Classroom, the link right here, and you're good to go. All right, thanks guys. Have a good night.